Many people believe they live their lives through free choice. They feel they decide their goals, thoughts, and identity. But modern life is full of invisible forces that shape our behavior long before we notice them. These forces come from society, culture, technology, biology, and even our own minds. Together, they create what we can call matrices, systems that guide us quietly, like hidden rules running in the background of our lives. Understanding these matrices does not make life darker. Instead, it gives us a clearer view of the world. It helps us see that many of our struggles do not come from personal failure, but from the systems around us and inside us. When we see these forces, we can make more conscious choices and live with greater freedom. The first and perhaps most powerful system is the economic matrix. Money influences nearly everything: housing, education, healthcare, food, safety, and opportunity. But money does not work alone. It joins with the legal system, government policy, corporate structure, and consumer culture. Laws protect certain economic interests. Companies design products and advertisements that push us to buy more. Governments create tax rules that reward some choices and limit others. Media shows lifestyles built on spending. All of these smaller systems form a large network that pushes people to value stability over curiosity and consumption over simplicity. Many people believe they make independent financial decisions. But those decisions are often shaped by forces created long before they were born. The second major system is the attention matrix. In the digital age, our attention has become a valuable resource. Companies compete to capture it, using algorithms that predict what will keep us watching. The advertising matrix uses bright visuals, emotional triggers, and personalized messages to influence our desires. The media matrix selects dramatic stories because dramatic stories hold attention. Even political groups enter this space with targeted messages designed to stir fear or loyalty. The result is that the things we see online are not random and not neutral. They are chosen by systems that understand human behavior deeply. People think they choose content, but most of the time the content chooses them. The narrative matrix shapes how we understand the world. Every society uses stories to explain success, failure, danger, morality, and identity. These stories come from schools, news media, culture, tradition, and even entertainment. The political matrix also depends on stories to create heroes and enemies. The cultural matrix builds stories around gender roles, relationships, and social expectations. Because these stories feel normal, we rarely question them. But they influence how we judge others and how we judge ourselves. They can open our minds or limit them. The political matrix controls the choices we believe we have. We think we select our leaders freely, but the system often limits our options long before an election begins. Campaign strategies, party systems, and voter data shape public opinion. Laws and institutions decide which voices are loud and which are quiet. The media and attention matrices also feed into politics by amplifying certain topics. Political messages often use fear, anger, and identity to guide behavior. Most political conflict is not about ideas, but about group belonging. Another system is the productivity matrix. Modern society praises constant work. Many people feel guilty when they rest. Workplaces reward long hours, not creative thinking. Schools teach students to measure themselves by grades, not curiosity. Companies create tools to make us more efficient, even when efficiency does not bring happiness. This matrix is supported by the education system, the economic system, and even the cultural stories we tell about success. As a result, people become tired and lose the mental space needed for reflection and growth. The social approval matrix controls our desire to be liked and accepted. Human beings naturally care about the opinions of others. But digital life makes this need stronger. Social media shows ideal images of success, beauty, and happiness. The advertising matrix uses these images to sell products. The identity matrix turns social approval into part of who we are. People begin to act for an invisible audience, performing a version of themselves that looks good but may feel empty. This matrix can be comforting when we receive praise, but it can also create anxiety and pressure. Many people today live inside a loneliness matrix. Families are smaller, communities are weaker, and genuine human connection is harder to find. The economic matrix contributes by making life busy and stressful. Technology replaces face-to-face interaction. Dating apps and online communities try to help, but they often create shallow relationships. The self-help and wellness industries grow as people search for answers. Even though the world is more connected, many people feel more alone than ever. The education matrix shapes how we learn and think. Schools focus on rules, memorization, and correct answers. They reward obedience more than creativity. Students learn how to please the system rather than how to question it. The teacher matrix also plays a role. Many teachers want to inspire students, but the structure limits them. They must follow standardized tests and fixed curricula, even when they want to teach in deeper and more creative ways. This creates adults who struggle to think independently. The family matrix influences us from childhood. Parents provide love and support, but they also pass down their fears, expectations, and habits. Many families teach children to avoid risk or to follow traditional rules. Some push children to fit into narrow definitions of success. These influences shape how people see themselves and how they feel about the world. They become part of the identity matrix, which is built from family culture, social expectations, gender roles, and national identity. People often believe these ideas are part of their true self, but many of them come from outside. The inner matrix is the most personal system. It includes our habits, emotions, reactions, and beliefs. These patterns come from childhood, culture, and past experiences. They guide our behavior automatically. People often avoid challenges because their inner matrix tells them they might fail. They may repeat unhealthy habits because those habits feel safe. This inner system can be stronger than any external system because it speaks in our own voice. The biological matrix runs underneath everything. Our brain evolved to survive, not to understand complex modern society. It reacts strongly to fear, reward, and comfort. It dislikes uncertainty and loves routine. It saves energy by avoiding deep thinking. Hormones influence mood and decision-making. Many behaviors we believe are choices are actually biological reactions. This does not make us weak. It makes us human. But it also means we must understand our own biology to live more freely. The final system is the religion matrix. Religion gives people meaning, purpose, and moral direction. It offers answers about life and death. It builds communities and traditions. But it can also create strong rules and beliefs that limit individual thinking. Many people grow up inside a religion and accept its ideas automatically. Religion connects with the narrative matrix, the identity matrix, and the cultural matrix, making it one of the most powerful systems that shape human life. These 14 matrices form the hidden structure of modern life. They work together, sometimes supporting each other and sometimes creating conflict. We cannot escape them completely, and we do not need to. The goal is not to live outside the matrices, but to live with awareness. When we understand these systems, we stop blaming ourselves for problems we did not create. We become calmer, more reflective, and more independent. We make choices with open eyes rather than following automatic patterns. Real freedom begins not when we control everything in the world, but when we understand how the world shapes us and how we can shape ourselves. When we learn to see the matrices clearly, we take the first step toward becoming the authors of our own lives.